Hey there, good people. It's Dan from Bounceagogo here. Yeah, just wanted to put this one out. It's about the young people that work for Bounceagogo. For those of you that have been to Bounceagogo, you would have noticed that we have quite a lot of young people working for us. For those of you that haven't been to Bounceagogo, we have a lot of young people working for us. And what I mean is people between the ages of 16 to 19. For a lot of these people, this is their first ever job. So yeah, kind of a big step up actually, because I suppose the way, or step up for them, because the way that they're treated at Bounceagogo is that I treat them like they're an adult. Charlotte treats them like they're an adult. So, which is different to the way they're used to being treated. The culture when I was young, being that I'm now 43 years young, but when I was 14, 15, 16, you could walk down my local high street in North London and you could ask in every shop and eventually get a job. Life is different now. That doesn't really happen. So, from a younger age, I suppose back then we were used to working younger. So they're coming to me and Charlotte, 16, 17 years of age. They know education, they can do GCSEs, they can do A-levels and all of that, but working is a bit of a mystery. But you know what? We can be down on the young people, and if you believe what is said in the media, that young people are work shy, not work ready, all of that sort of stuff. Well, life is different, but I have found them not to be work shy, and they're only not work ready because they haven't worked before. Treat them with a bit of respect, treat them as your equal. Keep your ears open to what they have to say. When they get it right, really praise them. When they cock it up, you got to let them know that they've gone wrong. But I think one of the things that we've really found is trying to instill the confidence within them to get it wrong. Because, when you get it right all the time, you just think you're brilliant. It's only when it goes wrong that you actually really learn. I really want that for the young people that work at Bounceagogo. I want to provide a safe environment where, they can make mistakes. They can grow into this role. They can grow into the whole notion of working. I tell you, the one of the really big things that I've noticed in comparison to when I was young is the fact that I suppose in some respects young people are not as confident as I seem to remember them being when I was young. But then again, I was, when I was 15, 16, 17, I thought I could change the world and had that sort of attitude, and I felt indestructible, as we all did. But I've noticed that this is not the case with young people anymore. I'll tell you another phenomena that I've noticed in the context of taking on young people, and I've especially noticed this around us taking on young girls, so 16, 17, 18-year-old young girls. They have never worked before. They are young, unlike a lot of our customers. They don't have that life experience. And I have noticed that as a result, and I found this very, very surprising, a very small percentage, but it's a percentage that sticks out in your mind, are not very nice to young women. And I find that comes from, a lot of the time, it comes from other women. Now, granted, if I walked into anywhere, it's always going to make you feel better that you're being served by an adult. Your event is being delivered by an adult. The person who's going to fix something for you is an adult. But the kids that actually work for Bounceagogo, collectively, they have done thousands of these parties. These kids really know what they're doing. If you don't want young people to lead on your party, if you don't want a young woman to be there to greet you at the door, to reassure you that everything's going to be okay and that we're going to have a wicked event, then probably Bounceagogo is not for you. Perhaps you should go to the Malden Centre or to somewhere like Eddie Cats or Jellybugs or wherever. Because the one thing I do know is that, yeah, in the first instance, my hand was forced. It was only primarily young women that were applying to work at Bounceagogo. I then became aware of this this lack of confidence that I don't remember from when I was young. You know, kids went out and got jobs and, you know, kind of got on with it. But, you know, life was different. I can only assume that, you know, obviously society is way different now. That, you know, kids are so much more into the process of education. And, you know, I'm not putting that down. You know, I've been through further education, higher education twice. You know, I've got myself a degree and a master's. You know, big up education. But, you know, it just seems different now in terms of the pressure that these kids feel that they're under. And so, you know, to a degree, as a dad, the fact that I'm an employer and I'm 43, 40 when I started Bounceagogo with my lovely wife, that, you know, I want to help these kids. I want to help these kids get work ready, you know, to get out there into society and actually really start making an impact. Because one thing I've definitely learned, having been through the education system, having had a proper job in terms of a company that I previously owned that I set up after coming out of university, and, you know, I've been through the whole process of getting a metaphorical punch in the face by the 2008 meltdown in terms of our economy. I want to help these kids get out there and be work ready, because you know what, it doesn't matter where you went to school anymore. It doesn't matter nowhere near as much where you went to university. Yes, these things count, and, you know, do I want my son to go to university? You betcha. But ultimately, it's when he gets out of that process, when all of these kids get out of that education process and they're in the workplace with all these other kids that have degrees or apprenticeships or, you know, their A-levels or what have you, is what can you do? What can you actually do? You know, to an employer, it's not about, you know, can you sit tests? Can you take exams? You know, that's no good. What I want to know is, what can you do? Can you think on your feet? If someone's stressing out, can you calm them down? Can you control a room of, you know, 50 people, over half of which are kids under the age of 3? You know, can you do that? Under all of that pressure, can you make a party run seamlessly? You know, absolutely seamlessly, which is what we do at Bounceagogo, which is what I insist upon from the staff. And you know what? The kids, especially it's the young girls who seem to cop it. You know, it's every once in a while we'll get someone in who just seems to just not like it. And I don't know what they're expecting. I mean, I don't know what you're expecting. So, it's not going to change at Bounceagogo. We're always going to take on young people. It's also not going to change the fact that we're going to be there to support them. So that when they go off to university, secretly I'm hoping they all go to London universities, because then they can continue working at Bounceagogo. Unfortunately, I'm also living in reality, and that's not going to happen with most of them. But, you know, they will be able to come back in holidays. They'll be able to come back after university and work at Bounceagogo until they get themselves a proper job or they start their own business. But we will always try and support that, because you know what? It's just the right blimmin' thing to do. It is the right thing to do. And, you know, people who want to be down on young girls that are, you know, are bright, are, you know, they've got their youth and their enthusiasm, all of that good stuff on their side. And if you want to be down on them and give them a hard time and try and knock their confidence by being purposefully difficult, then don't come to Bounceagogo. Thankfully, this is only a very small percentage of people that come into Bounceagogo, but it does happen. It does happen. But you know what? I'm always going to back the youth. Always, always, always. We only have to look at our current political climate without going into big detail, and how we've trusted the older people, my age and above, with what's going on politically, and we're in a right blimmin' pickle. So you know what? My money's on the youth, and that's where it's going to stay. That's not just me talking, but that's the other half of the business as well. The boss lady, my wife, Charlotte. All right then, lovely people. Yeah, I'm signing off now, and I will hopefully talk to you again very, very soon. Lots of love. Bye-bye.